So, with all the podcasts I listen to, I was listening to a pretty interesting one today about St. Patrick. He, in his youth, he was actually an atheist before he became like the saint of the Irish. And this is all because St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And according to the podcast, his teachings were of love and grace and abstinence and celibacy, and on St. Patrick's Day it's drunken debauchery. So let's go ahead and start. Glad to Verada Nicto to Marvel Zombies. Wrong button. Marvel Zombies, Whovians, Trekkies, and wonderful, wonderful Game Cats. I gotta play. It's the only reason I do this. This is a show that's been postponed, I think, 3 times. And I just came off an 8-hour shift, got to work at 4:30 this morning. I'm a little peaked, a little tired, a little wiped. But I said I was going to do a show. I'm going to do a show again. Before we get things rolling here, there's been some changes on how to join the voice chat. I used to have a stage set up, and there was a lot of hoops to jump through in order to get on the stage. So I've made it a lot easier. You can, here, let me get my pen dealy going here. Join the Discord, of course. There we go. And right here, subspace, oh, that's terrible. My mouse is in a different spot, or my cursor. Right here, subspace. Oh no, that's not it. That's the live one. You'll want to join the hailing frequencies. That's kind of like the green room, and anyone who's a member can hit up the hailing frequencies. And once I see someone's in there, I'll bring them live up to the subspace relay. And also, if you are a member and I recognize you as a game cat, I've already given you permission to just drop into the subspace relay whenever. So there's that. That'll be a lot easier and quicker for you instead of going along on the Discord stage and raising your hand and all that stupid BS. I think that was really causing a barrier to entry for a lot of people. And like, I don't want to hassle with it. So that should make it easier. Let's start with a little game. Let's get to the run of show. Geekfull Things with Other Things. So I'll need to open up my Discord. And get some shortcuts here. What Geekfull Things with Other Things is, it's fairly self-explanatory. Take a geekful thing and mix it up with another thing, hopefully with humorous results. And we'll see if this works. It didn't really work well last time. Okay. So the first geekful thing says it's thinking. And I tried this with Brian. And oh, there, it's spinning. And we've got, it looks like sci-fi. Yep, sci-fi. And we'll mix that with, this is a long list. it's thinking again. I'll have a little beverage while it's doing that. Just water for now, because I've been drinking so much coffee at work. Daylight savings time put me through a loop. Oh, with another geekful thing. So I guess we'll spin the wheel again. Oftentimes when I do the first spin, it ends up on horror. I don't know why that is. It's the first one on the list, but it shouldn't be so repetitive. I should have some music playing while I'm doing this. Oh well. I'll put that in my notes. And are you kidding me? With sci-fi? No, that's not going to work. Let's spin it again. Well, it could work. If you take one sci-fi thing and mix it with another sci-fi thing. That's a lot of mental hoops to jump through, though. And anime. Oh, lordy. I know very little about anime. I'm old. So, yikes. This ought to be interesting. Let's change that. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. Give me a moment to process. Good Lord. See, I know very little about anime. All I can think of is like Akira and One Punch Man and damn, this one's tough for me at least. I got to come up with one before I proceed. At least one. Jesus Christ. Why did I do this to myself? No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll try to think of one later. I just, yeah. So, anywho, let's The topic this week, oh, shut that off, is the PlayStation. PlayStation VR2 specifically. What you think of it now that it's been out for a little over 2 weeks? And I don't know. I love mine. The first game I played was Gran Turismo, of course, and it's just staggering. The graphics are fantastic. The play is smooth. It's detailed. We've gone to Vegas a few times. Where I live, there's a cheap flight to Vegas. It's like $100. So we've gone a few times as, a quick vacation. And Sahara used to have a racing simulator. They partnered with, I believe, NASCAR. And I would go there every time we went just to play with that. And this blows that way out of the water. Of course, this was, 15 years ago. I don't think even Sahara is a casino or resort anymore. I've dabbled a little in PC gaming. I've played, American Truck Sim. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Just great for sightseeing, relaxing, take like a road trip without leaving the house. Fallout, that one took a bit of work to get to work properly. My hardware is an i7 with, it's a laptop. It's an i7 with a 2060. And of course, excuse me, as you probably well know, if you're into PCs, a laptop i7 and a 2060 is not an i7 and a 2060. It's at least a step lower, like an i5 with a 1080. Java, that's enough. Must be mail time. She really doesn't like the mailman. That's enough. Hey, chill out. It's okay. And Half-Life Alyx, of course. And Half-Life Alyx, and the headset I used was just the Quest. So the graphics were okay. They're not nearly as detailed as a PlayStation VR2. But it was much clearer, much sharper, much more detailed than the PSVR1. We all know PSVR1 had limitations. It was a great plug and play, first entry level VR. I would venture to say even better than the Quest because of the quality of the games. With Quest, I mean, you get these little experiences. They've done better on the Quest with like Resident Evil 4 and Sniper Elite and some more longer play games. But it's got a cell phone processor in the thing. Self-contained really has its limitations. Where the PlayStation VR2 really blows everything out of the water when it comes to that. The Resident Evil 8 was the next game that I played, and it was better than Half-Life Alyx. And again, I did have some hardware limitations with it because it's just a laptop. But the eye tracking is great. The controllers, of course, are a huge improvement over the Move controllers. The haptics are spectacular, and it's the only headset so far. I know everyone's going to copy it, but it has head rumble, and that really brings a lot of immersion too, if done properly. It can be a little distracting if done improperly, but hardware is only as good as the software that's running on it. But yeah, the hardware is great, and it's got a single wire now instead of the breakout box. So much easier to plug and play. And that was one of the problems with the PC. I mean, every time I wanted to play Half-Life or Fallout, they would have to. NVIDIA has an update with the video drivers. Windows has an update. Steam has an update. The game itself has an update. Then you got to make sure you got to make sure that the driver versions match. Then you have to kind of fool Steam into playing it in VR. And then you got to tweak your settings after all that in order to get decent frame rate, no tearing, all that jazz. PlayStation VR, you pop it on your head, you turn it on. That's it. There's a little bit with making sure that your IPD is set properly, because that knob is kind of in a bad spot. Just putting the headset on, you can accidentally bump the IPD knob and get things a little out of whack. But it takes seconds to pop open the menu, scroll down to check, was it visibility or, and then just dial in your IPD, you're good to go. It does kind of have a narrow sweet spot, but once you find it, again, good to go. GTG, just pop it on, a little bit of ratcheting, and you'll feel eventually where the sweet spot is. It's just like, oh, right here. Some people have had a bit of blurriness on the edges. That's usually because they didn't check the IPD. When you're checking your IPD or interpupillary distance, you can see if your eyes are centered inside the circles or if they're offset. If they're offset, just grab that halo and give a little spin till your eyes are right in the center of the circles. That's one of the things I had, is it kept getting blurry on the left side for me. And I was getting a bit of a headache on my right temple. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. My head fits this thing weird. It just, here you go. But the hardware side is great. That's all I got to say about that. If you got anything to add to it. Hey, Space Denizen, how you doing? Yeah, if you got anything to say about the hardware, Space Denizen? Because I think I've rambled on long enough about it. Excuse me. Is there anything else I could really say about the hardware other than it is spectacular? It's there will be more headsets down the line that'll have better specs, but for what we have now and for the price, it's incomparable. It's unmatched. Some people complain about Mura, which is, it can appear as somewhat of a screen door effect, but it's basically differences between the volume of the pixels displayed on screen. A lot of that can be fixed, and a lot of it has been fixed with the latest update, but a lot of it can be fixed by just adjusting your brightness down a little bit. I've got mine about 50%, and I can barely notice it. There's a couple scenes in like Resident Evil 8 where if you're looking for it, and I mean looking for it, you can find it, but otherwise it's clear as a bell. It's the next thing I got to get is Kayak because of the photorealism. That's on my wish list. I have a lot of issue with sweat and glasses, but loving it more than a part of it cut off. I got to adjust that. Issue with sweet spot and glasses, but loving it more than not, for sure. Yeah, that new rubbery material, it does really hold in a lot of moisture. I wear a sweatband, and I've seen other people wearing beanies when they're playing VR. And that might also help with, if I usually keep my hair fairly short. It's getting a little long in the back now, but it'll rise up a little bit. Just a little bit of weight on the front of the visor will cause it to rise up and settle. But I think maybe a beanie would help with that too, keeping it in place. And if you've got long hair, it's going to be a problem. It just is with any headset. Kayak is great. Yes, that's the next one on my wish list. I did pre-order Switchback, which is in 2 days. You know what? It seems like every game that I've played so far, with the exception of Gran Turismo, is a horror game, which is fine. We all love horror games, and there's more. Oh, and Saints and Sinners, the update plus the sequel. It's Chapter 2. I guess you could call it a sequel. Coming out in next week, the 21st, I believe. That one I think I'm gonna have to wait on because I got bills to pay. So yeah, I would have. To get sweaty in Kayak, I would think so. I used to have on the Wii, there was a kayaking game on there, and I'd get sweaty just playing it on the Wii. Man, I'm so ready for Switchback. Yes, you and me both, buddy. I can't. I don't know. I had to pull the trigger on Switchback because Rush of Blood was so good, and it's more or less the same, but a different storyline. And I don't know where I was going with this. I think I need some sleep. I need a sandwich and a nap. That's what I usually do about this time. But the hell was I going to say about Switchback? I don't remember. I don't know. I'll think of it later. Just like I'll think of sci-fi mixed with anime. Don't hold your breath on it. So I guess that would lead us to the games. I mean, we've already been talking about the games, but yeah, my library is kind of small right now. Most of them are upgrades from PlayStation VR1 to PlayStation VR2, with the exception of Gran Turismo and Resident Evil 8, which I bought shortly before PlayStation VR2 came out, anticipating the upgrade. So, pretty much everything I have is an upgrade. Switchback will be the first made for PlayStation VR game. So that's going to be spectacular. You do get a little bit of reprojection on both Gran Turismo and Resident Evil Village. It almost looks like ghosting sometimes, and it's usually on a fast pan. Like if you're spinning or taking a turn real quick. I notice it mostly on Gran Turismo 7 with the virtual replays, which are pretty cool, by the way, too. As the cars are screaming by, there's a little bit of fuzz in front and behind. But it's very slight, and it's not as noticeable now with the last update as it was before. With Resident Evil 8, yeah, if you do a quick spin, if you got some terror breathing down your neck, you do a quick spin, you'll see a little bit of it on some of the textures, but it's, yeah, again, it's almost something you need to be looking for. If you need a reason to bitch about something, it's there. Same with the Mira. But other than that, just enjoy what you're playing, man. I mean, yeah. Hell Sweeper. That's the next one I'm waiting for. And that's, of course, another horror game. I would be happy if we had more sci-fi games, and that there's not really a lot coming out. There's lo-fi. I would almost say Half-Life Alyx, but that's not confirmed, but we all know it's coming. And that would almost be in the horror category too than sci-fi, but look at The Thing, Alien, two of my favorite movies. They fit in both categories too. Yeah, I mean, the future is wide open. Like I said, it's only been a couple weeks, so there's so much stuff. And Sony hasn't even touched on the hybrids yet. And hopefully they will soon, because I suspect, I have no knowledge of this, but I suspect that a lot of the recent new bigger releases would be hybrid games. They just haven't announced, oh yeah, you can play that in PlayStation VR as well. I'm thinking like maybe Spider-Man. Oh, the Foundation game. Yes, thank you, Space Denizen. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. I forgot all about that one. Yeah, I hope it's as good as it looks, because it looks fun, deep, complex, and I love that shit. Well, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is definitely complex but deep. It's a little shallow when you look at it. I mean, it's kind of fetch questy. But yeah, the Foundation game, yeah. You know what? I might even have that as one of the trailers. I didn't change any of my trailers and stuff in the Geek Loop in the corner. Let's see real quick what we got. I'd have to get into settings and all kinds of stuff in order to see what the hell I got. That's Horizon. Another one which I didn't get yet. I was so concerned about some of the early impressions of it before PlayStation VR2 was released, about the way the combat was handled and all the climbing. It's like, I think I'll wait for a sale. It's kind of spendy for, what is it, 12 hours, maybe 15 or 20? I don't know. But I've heard it's fairly short. First playthrough. And that's speed running it too, basically. Just going from task to task and not exploring stuff, not playing with the pottery and stuff. If you've played the demo, it's VR AF. There's so much stuff to mess with and break and paint and you name it. It's just It's a lot of fun just to dick around with. But yeah, I held off on that one, waiting for a sale. We'll see. I mean, I anticipate having a backlog in PlayStation VR2, just like I did with the PlayStation VR1, which was kind of nice towards the end. Oops. Towards the end of the lifespan of the PlayStation VR1, because they gave you ample time to go back and play some games that you bought on sale and never got around to playing. Because I got into Immortal Legacy. Still didn't much care for it. But then again, I was having so many problems with the moves, tracking, and that was a lot of it. And the control scheme was just weird. Just weird. I mean, weirder than Wolf and Wood. Their games. I don't know. But yeah, there was the Backlog Club on Without Parole on their Discord. There was a lot of games that I played in there that I never would have even booted up before. Paper Beast being one of the big ones. I'm so glad that was part of the Backlog Club, because we got it for free with PlayStation Plus, I believe. And I don't know, I had no interest in it until like, well, yeah, let's fire this puppy up. And it was really cool. Short, strange, but an experience like no other, which is exactly what we want VR for. Is experiences like no other. Do things that you just can't do in normal life. Be people you can't be yourself. Yeah. So, Space Denizen, what, well, you already said Switchback and Foundation, so what else are you looking forward to? Because, just like Brian at 20 Questions, I'm drawing a complete blank as soon as that camera's on. I'm glad you're here for the backup for the Foundation, because I totally forgot about that one, and that does look really, really good. Hubris. Isn't Hubris coming for PSVR 2? 2? As well? I already did that one. Did I double up on my thingies? Geekfull TV. Paper Beast. Oh, you love Paper Beast. Yeah. It was pretty special, wasn't it? One that I missed on PSVR 1, I still have it plugged in. All the breakout box and all that crap. One that I missed, and I should get back to it, is oh God, see, I forgot the name of it. Not Isolation. Desolation? Desperation? It's the one that Brian raves about. It's very emotional. It's very I think it's in black and white, and just one guy made the game. Dang. Here, let's get to is it Isolation? Or am I thinking of Alien Isolation? That's what I was thinking of. I don't even know what to type in for a search. God, I need a nap. I'm in videos. I can't think. Oh well. Nothing new there. Can't think. Separation. Yes. Thank you again, Space Denizen. Oh, Sea Smash, Ghosts of Tabor, Firewall. List goes on. Sea Smash? I guess. Yeah, if you like, It's not for me. Well, it might be. I like getting sweaty in the games too. It's getting a good workout. If you like, oh Jesus Christ, am I going to forget the name of that one too? Um, it was like a squash game. So is Sea Smash. Oh Jesus Christ, this is terrible. This is why I don't do this on the weekdays because I don't get to rest up. That and I haven't even had breakfast yet. And yeah, we're going on 12 hours here. uh, what was the name of that? I don't know. This is terrible. Should I look for it again? Why not? Oh. Do, 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 do. Gran Turismo Sport. Yeah, no, that's not it. Oh, here's a list of all the games. That's not what I'm looking for. Dream Match, Sprint Vector, Everybody's Golf, Rush. It's not even listed on there. Well, did it get taken down after a while too? I'm not sure. Spark. My God. I need to have you on the show, Space Denizen, because I'm lost without you today. Spark Substitute. Yep. God dang it. The wife has a bird box right next to the table. Wow. I am so flaky right now. I think. Oh, we were on subject of Geekfull TV. Got way off topic. Yeah, what's on right now? Picard season 3. 1 and 2 had its moments. Some of the storylines, it seems like the B storylines were better than the A storylines. And they had some cool things with the Borg and the Romulans and the whole, like, kind of samurai Romulan culture. That was pretty cool. But season 3 of Picard is really taking it in different directions, a much better direction. It's there are still some surprises, namely, you figure this out in the first 2 episodes, so it's not really much of a spoiler. But Picard has a son with Beverly Crusher that she held secret for 20 years, and the reason that she kept Jack Crusher secret is because Picard was too reckless, if you can imagine that. If you remember anything about Next Generation, Picard never went on away missions. He was not the guy putting himself in danger. He wasn't Kirk. He wasn't he wasn't the man on the scene. He was the diplomat. He was so it's kind of I would say what now when she says that he was putting everyone's life in danger. But the events that she references happen after the series and after the movies, and there were some things, even diplomatically, that he did that people were gunning for him. I mean, it's bound to happen. But other than that, the characters are done really well. There's none of the wokeness that's been in the first 2 seasons, and don't get me started on Discovery. Wow. It's a decent sci-fi show, but it's not Star Trek. It's getting there finally after the 4th season. But yeah, oh, Brave New Worlds. That's excuse me a second. Brave New Worlds, or Strange New Worlds, sorry, is just wonderful. If you're an old school Trekkie like me, it's pretty damn good. What else? Oh, Last of Us, of course, just had their season finale, episode 9. No spoilers there. Not going to ruin anyone's enjoyment of the show. I'm sure most of the people watching have already played the game, so they know how everything ends. But wow, it's so good. It follows the game. It varies from the game. It fleshes out the game. So if you played the game, there's still a lot of things you can enjoy in the show. And if you haven't played the game, it's so eye-opening. There's so many wonderful things about the show. It really gets you in the feels too. I mean, that's it, yeah. Turn this off right now. Go get HBO Max. Start watching it. Other than that, there really isn't too much sci-fi on right now. There's stuff coming up. I mean, there's another season of Strange New Worlds, another season of Lower Decks, Doctor Who, which is in a weird place as well. It's with Joey Whittaker exiting the show. There's a new doctor, a new companion, new showrunner. Actually, old showrunner is back again. Went through a strange period with Jodie Whittaker. I loved her as the doctor. I hated the scripts. Talk about woke. Well, that's the other thing, too. I don't think that trend is going to stop. I think we're going to go back to wokeness because Disney has the rights to Doctor Who now. And Disney has just awoken Star Wars, Marvel, their own movies. And don't get me wrong, there's a difference between. Now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole on wokeness. But there's a difference between wokeness and awareness, between wokeness and activism. Wokeness takes things too far, and it takes things in the wrong direction, I believe. And I'm going to try not to get too political, but if you're trying to make people aware of groups, and I'm being as vague as I can here, of groups that are being segregated, of groups that are being looked down upon, groups that are, put upon and tasked separately, if you know what I'm getting at. If you're trying to draw attention to those groups and bring awareness that they're not being treated as equals, by separating them and drawing attention to what makes them different, is not helping integrate things. And I'm all about integration. I think you know how much I love Star Trek, and that's all about unity, all about, to quote Spock, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. That's what life's all about. But it's detrimental to the storyline too, and that's the important thing when it comes to our entertainment, is if it's a natural part of the story, great, make it a natural part of the story. If you're calling attention to certain actions, certain people, without it servicing the story, without advancing the plot, without enriching the characters, you're doing a disservice. You're just simply making a statement. And that's the big thing, is making statements. Empty statements. That's even worse, is, we're bringing attention to this. Okay, everybody knows about it. What are you doing about it? That's the important thing. I'm straight, but I have a lot of gay friends. And as a matter of fact, we're going to Denver in June for a gay pride parade. I consider myself an ally. And, well, there's also a Comic-Con going on the week later, so there's two reasons for the vacation. But, and again, I forget my train of thought as to why I was going down this line of reasoning. I don't know. I guess I have kind of mixed feelings about the event because I'm going down there for support, but we all know. We all know what needs to be done. It's kind of an empty gesture, but it's still one of support. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Wow. Nap time is calling, isn't it? Geekful movies. Well, there's really nothing out right now. Scream 6. Which I've heard was supposed to be in 3D. I don't know if it is. I haven't checked any show times or anything. Of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once just got a whole bunch of awards, so it's playing everywhere again. All at once. It was too easy. As a matter of fact, one of our old movie theaters downtown, old vaudeville theater that's been around for, well, decades, of course. And it's playing Everything Everywhere All at Once. I might check it out there. The wife is a huge Keanu Reeves fan, so we already booked our tickets online for John Wick 4 next week, this week. Saw the trailer for 65 Dinosaurs. I don't know. I think with all the Jurassic Park movies and maybe two of them being good, dinosaurs are a little bit played out, in my opinion. Geekful news. We got no Geekful news except for Daddy needs a nap. So yeah, I think that's a wrap. I didn't. Yeah, thanks to my one faithful co-host, Space Denizen. Thank you. I hope I didn't upset anyone with my wokefulness talk and non-wokefulness. Or do whatever. If it upsets you, do something about it. Become an activist. Do something. Yeah. Definitely sandwich and a nap because I can't hardly eat. My eyes open. I can hardly talk. So let me get back to a couple buttons here. And yeah, that's a wrap. Live long and prosper. I can't even do it. See ya.